Never Stop Learning, week 224. We're going to take a quick look at multiple layer style effects in Adobe Photoshop CC 2015. Alright, so this is a new feature in Adobe Photoshop where they allow you to add multiple effects inside of your layer styles. So if you take a look over here in my layers panel, I've already got one going, so I'm going to double click on effect, and that brings up my layer style. And over here on the left, you only see the gradient overlay. Now that's because if you come over here in the bottom, click on effects, I've actually gotten rid of the hidden effects. So I'm going to click on show all effects to bring them all back. Now this is more like what you guys are used to seeing, but you might also notice that now we have these plus symbols here. So when it comes to stroke, inner shadow, color overlay, gradient overlay, and drop shadow, you're able to add multiples of those particular effects. All right, so back over here in this little effect menu, I'm going to choose delete hidden effects. Now I'm just dealing with the gradient overlay. All right, I'm going to add a couple of strokes on here. So let's start it off back again in here. Stroke. All right, so this is the first stroke, and I'm going to add two more after this. So let's make some edits to this guy. Maybe switch over to 7 pixels. The position, I'm going to throw it to the outside. And for blend mode, I'm going to go with screen. All right, I'll leave this guy set to overprint, so when I play around with the opacity, it'll give me some better looks. And instead of a color fill type, I'm going to go with gradient. All right, cool. So now it's time to drop that opacity like I was talking about. And once you get a look that you like, just go ahead and leave it there. All right, so that's the first stroke. So to add a new one, just click on the plus symbol. And now we have another stroke just like the one we just created. All right, so we have two of the same strokes right on top of each other. All right, with this one, I'm going to send this to the inside. And I'll leave it set to screen. Overprint's great. And then the fill type, I'm going to go back to color. And instead of black, I'd like a yellow color chip. So let's find a nice yellow color, more of a highlight, something like that looks pretty good. All right, that's great. Opacity's fine. And maybe just change the size of this guy. So instead of 7, I'll bring it down to, 4. That looks great. All right, back over here in this column on the left, I'm going to add my third stroke. Now, there is a stacking order associated with these guys. So if I have this top stroke highlighted, I'm editing the stroke that's on top of the other two. All right, so I want to click on the one in the middle because that's the one I want to affect. But also while it's highlighted, notice these little arrows lighten up. Well, these are going to allow you to change the stacking order over here. Currently, you can't click and drag to reposition them, but you could use these little buttons here to move them around. All right, so this one's fine where it is. That's the one I'm going to go with. And I'm going to switch over to multiply because I'm going to use this to kind of create a little shade in there. Come back with a darker color chip. That looks good. And then I'm just going to increase the size of this guy a little bit. All right. Right around there looks good to me. And I'm probably going to increase this opacity a little bit. There we go. I'm going to click OK to accept those changes. Now, if you notice over here in the layers panel, again, under effects, you're going to see that I have 3 strokes stacked on top of a gradient overlay, which is something you couldn't do in the past. So there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at multiple layer styles in Adobe Photoshop CC 2015.